Hi, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Marissa, and you are watching Daughters of Single Mothers. As always, I want to always start and give glory and honor to God for restoring my voice in more ways than one. So, today's topic, I have been in my reflective state, and I really just wanted to touch base with you all on, red flags, right? We women often want to always talk about the red flags in men, but what about us talking about the red flags in ourselves, right? And if you're new here, welcome to my channel. I hope you stay. I hope that this one does resonate with you, and I hope that you stay to listen to it all. Today's red flags, and we are talking about the red flags in ourselves, right, as daughters of single mothers. And so what made me think about this is I was doing one of my videos outside, and I was sitting outside on a bench. I often bring like a paper bag if the bench is wet so I can lay it, down so I can sit on it and my butt isn't soaking wet from the bench. And so this one time I was sitting there and I was recording a video, and this guy walks by and didn't think anything of it. He walks by, goes to his car, comes back as I'm like actually speaking on camera. I had to pause the video, and he hands me a towel. And at first I was like, oh, he's like, this is for you to sit on. And I thought, oh my gosh, what a really nice gesture. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I wish I had the video. I really do wish I had the video, but I deleted it. It was one of the videos that I have on my channel, right? So this is where this all started. I'm like, going back on some of my videos and I'm looking. And immediately I was like, well, why? My first initial thought was like, oh, thank you. That was really gentlemanly of him to do. And it was really thoughtful and sweet. And then my second thought was, what's his motive? Why did he do that? And for me, I thought to myself, Marissa, that, like, why the negative? Why did I just automatically go to the negative, right? So that for me was a red flag, and I had to check myself. So this is why this video is being made. It's for us to check ourselves, right? Sometimes we are the red flag, right? Sometimes we exhibit behaviors that can be red flaggish, right? So it's really important to check yourself, and that's why this video is here. Just being honest here, right? We sometimes go through life, and sometimes people come in our lives for seasons, reasons, and or lifetimes. And even more than that, I have been reflecting on us, right? Us women, daughters of single mothers, growing up without male leadership, or being raised in a single family household with a single mother who maybe didn't have the language, to, or the emotions to express how she was feeling and to help you sort through your feelings because she herself was going through some trauma of her own. So it leaves a mark, right? It can create a sense of confusion. And today I want to share the three flags, the three flags that I myself have had to work on. I myself am constantly putting myself in check, and to be aware when I feel myself slipping into these three core red flags. And I'm not here to place blame or sound negative, but I just want us to, daughters, right? I just want us to start really to emotionally mature in spite of, the lack of maybe emotional immaturity in our own household when we grew up, right? So because we grew up that way, right? Or we grew up without male leadership. We grew up with a single mom that was, had her own struggles. That doesn't mean that we have to continue living in that world. So yeah, let's get through it. So let's start with number one. Sign number one is, this is the sign that I think a lot of people miss. And this one is vital, in my opinion, right? All three core are vital, but I think this one is the most important. And it's the ability to be able to sit with yourself, right? So the first sign really is running away from your feelings. And you know when you haven't been taught how to regulate your emotions, and your first instinct is to either explode or to shut down completely, stonewalling, right? That's another word for it. It's fight or flight. I realized that whenever I felt rejected or scared, I would just sit with how I was feeling. I would distract myself or I would rationalize it away because feeling it was very painful, right? So I want you to play detective, with your emotions, which is, it's something that can be difficult because you are sitting by yourself. You are sometimes talking out loud to yourself, right? Or you're writing it down, right? You are really figuring out what is wrong with me. And there's nothing wrong with asking what is wrong, because you're actually diving deeper into what is the root of, why do I act this way? So asking that question, what is wrong with me, is not a bad thing. And I disagree with a lot of people that say you shouldn't say something's wrong with you, but you're asking yourself, how can I fix this? How can I evolve from this, right? So when things get hard, do you stay present or do you run away, right? Or do you check out? Because healing starts when you stop running. So it's really important to sit with yourself. And sign number two, the blame game, okay? And I think the second red flag is struggling. The blame game is it's struggling to take accountability, right? And this is a hard one for some people, but emotional immaturity shows up when you can't handle criticism or when you take everything personally, which I think, again, daughters, easy to do. Easy to do. And if you're always playing the victim in your own story, you're robbing yourself. I should say we, right? We are robbing ourselves of the power to change the ending, right? It takes a lot of courage to look in the mirror and say, okay, maybe I contributed to this. Maybe it's me, right? So yeah, that really does say something about our growth. Number 3. And the third sign is getting stuck in black and white thinking. Okay? When we are in survival mode, which is how many of us grew up, right? It's hard to see someone else's perspective sometimes. Your peers, your coworkers, sometimes it is difficult to see other people's perspectives. It's hard to have empathy when you're still trying to protect your own heart, but being able to hold space for someone else's truth, even when it's different from yours, that is what is moving past, that's what moving past looks like. Yeah. So what am I saying? 3 red flags. 1, first sign, the inability to sit with your feelings. So learn to play detective, learn to, sit with how you feel, learn to regulate your emotions. Don't just stonewall, don't just sit there and forget, oh, nothing's wrong, I'm fine. Or the complete opposite, have a complete meltdown in front of everyone or in front of your family, your significant other, your husband, whatever the case may be, right? And number 2 is the blame game. Take accountability, right? If you, especially as a Christian woman, if you feel like, oh no, that was wrong, you said something and you said it harshly and you said it quickly, right? If you feel convicted, if God convicted you, no, you were wrong, that was wrong, then apologize, take accountability, and explain why you are saying, I am sorry, right? Accountability goes a very long way, because it's a big reason why daughters of single mothers really don't grow emotionally, right? And I think because sometimes, like I mentioned, if you have grown up in a household where your mom was sorting through her own issues and her own struggles, trauma, she herself may not have been taking accountability for some of the things that she got herself into, right? Or maybe she didn't have the bandwidth. Maybe it was overwhelming. Whatever the case may be, right? Because you grew up with a lack of accountability, right? Either she coddled you because of the lack of your father not being there, whatever the case may be. I think it's important as an adult woman that you start to take accountability for your emotions, right? Number 3 is the lack of empathy. And God's word, it's having grace. Do you have the grace, right? Do you have the grace to be patient and to be kind? I'm not saying become a doormat, right? I'm saying be a grace to someone that may need it. You as a Christian woman, and if you're not a Christian, right? If you aren't a Christian, do you still have the grace for someone else, right? So, lack of empathy. I think we all need grace. And grace is actually, in my opinion, another avenue of healing. So, what am I saying? I am saying that me talking to you, this is therapy for me, right? I have said it before, I'm not a big proponent of actual therapy with a therapist. Some people, I do believe that it's a great thing, but as for me, it is just, my therapy is the Bible. I've, sat with, in my adult life, I have sat with 3 therapists before. Not my thing. My therapy is the Bible. So, I am saying, speaking this out loud, right? You sitting with your feelings, me sitting with my feelings, speaking this out loud is therapy for me. Try that. I encourage you to play detective, with your own feelings. Write them out. Speak them out so that you can begin to heal. Let me know, please, in the comments if any of this resonates with you. We can do this work together. It starts with really saying, enough is enough, and I'm making the change. I am starting today. I am looking this woman in the mirror, and I'm starting today. And I am making the change. I want to be the change that I want to see. And it starts today with you, with me. So, as always, thank you for joining. Until next time, bye for now.